All right, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have, I have to look here, we've got so many of them. We have 358 cop stories, 7 minutes, 8, 9, 10 minutes, depending on the content. You'll like them, they're fun. I got about 10%, maybe 8% are gross alerts for people with sensitive stuff, it's vice stuff. 40 some years ago, some of the stuff I cannot unremember, really gross. Sticky floors, naked people, prostitutes run everywhere, I just, ew. Okay, you'll hope you like them. Okay, I really do. Now, addition to that, on that same website, RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we're looking at over 160 questions and answers. Okay, you send me a question, and I'll tell you no lies. No, I was kidding. Send me a question, and I'll answer it. And what I'm doing is, you send me a question, and I will answer it directly to you. And then also, we're putting them on video now. So if you want to send me a question, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com, and I'll answer your questions. Okay, and I'm doing it now. And this is a continuing answer to, have I ever been interviewed by Internal Affairs? Okay, and I laughed when I first did it because any officer that's working, okay, in the field is going to be interviewed at one time in his career, if not multiple times, by Internal Affairs. Because when you put your hands up, like I said before, firemen, you know, street workers, vendors, tree trimmers, everybody loves those guys. Because you know why? They don't restrict your movement. They don't put you in jail. They don't tell you you're wrong. There you go. No one likes to be told they're wrong. So you watch cops, everybody's lying. Everybody's lying because they're all wrong, making up stories and pointing fingers. And so nobody likes to be told they're lying, whether directly or indirectly by police. That's why we get problems, and not problems in the sense that we did anything wrong. It's just that people make complaints, and our department has to investigate them. Any department, if they're any worth salt and gold, any salt worth in gold anyway, they investigate possible improper behavior by police officers. Okay, you should do that. Make sure everybody's clean. So, on that vein, we had, there was at the time I was working, I'm a detective in the mid-'80s, and I was working narcotics with a partner, and we gelled really well. He was an ex-Marine Vietnam vet, and so was I. He had about 2 or 3 years on me. He passed away a little while ago. Good partner, both detectives. And we had an area downtown that was selling heroin. Now, at that time, department policy says that, unlike what you see on TV, that, let me back up. The dealers, I'm sorry about that. The dealers that we're dealing with have small balloons of heroin, you know, about this big around, okay? They put heroin in a balloon, and they rewrap it and rewrap it and rewrap it 3 or 4 or 5 times, so that's pretty much watertight, and then they put 4 or 5 in their mouth. I know it's gross. And then when somebody walks up, they make a deal, and he pulls it out of his mouth and pays them. And they do that for a specific reason. For us. Because when they see us coming, what do? They swallow them. Okay. Well, that's fine if it's been hermetically sealed by a recognized company, but when you're just hand wrapping balloons, what happens when they swallow the balloons is some of them break in the body breaks it down, or the balloons are not exactly the right way, and these guys die. Okay. So, but what happened there was our policy on trying to get the balloons out of these guys' mouths had changed almost every 6 months. One time you can do it, I'll tell you what we were doing. So sometime you can do it, and then 6 months later somebody decided, no, you can't. Yes, you can. All this is going on is city litigation. The city attorneys do not want to, they're getting sued. We're getting sued, I'm sorry, and the city attorney has to defend us. So the city attorney doesn't want us choking people, because then they get sued for choking people to get these balloons out. And I'm not talking about beating them and I'm talking about just going up here and grabbing the throat and just keep them from swallowing. There's a big difference. You know, a big difference in choking and keeping someone from swallowing. And so the department their posture was up and down on this. Okay, so when I got there, you could do it. You could, when you see someone, you run up, if you think he's swallowing or you see a transaction, you tell him to spit it out as you're approaching him, you yell him the whole time. And you can see them trying to swallow, and you grab them, and then you try to get some out, and once in a while they spit a couple, or sometimes they outright just spit them out, and you're yelling to them, don't kill yourself. We want to tell these people what you're going to die. We're yelling at them, you're going to die. I mean, this is not dramatic. This is fact. We don't deal with dramatics here. This isn't a soap opera TV show, okay? So sometimes sometimes they swallow, sometimes they don't. And when they swallow, then we have to call the paramedics. We have to have them try to see to get them pumped, because they're going to die, okay? They're going to die. Especially depends on how many balloons they swallow, okay? So in the middle of all this questionable choking, the department changed its posture. That, well, first they said you can, and then they said you can't, okay? And so there's a big book I told you about that we follow all our rules. And once you follow the rules in there, you're covered. And in that book, there's wording that's very important. Shall is the actual word that's the key. You shall wear a black tie. You shall drive a black and white. You shall, all the things you shall do means you will do them. Otherwise, you will get disciplined. Then there's may in there. You may do this, you may do that, you can do this, you could do that. And that's where the gray area is. And that's where the throat thing came. It said you should not choke someone to obtain evidence from them, but it didn't say you shall not. Okay, and that's key in there because we're following the rules here. And so based on that, when I got there, I was a new detective, but I've been on 14 years, excuse me. I've been around the block a little bit. So he's training me about narcotics things. Okay, and we're making short story long. An apartment store on the street there in downtown LA, and there was some we call mouth dealers standing around. They're looking for cops, looking for customers. They're always looking. They're always looking. Whenever you see anybody walking down the street, if you go to a 7-Eleven and you see people walk up to the store and they're doing this, okay, I suggest you go to someplace else because nobody looks around like that. When you go to a store, when you go to 7-Eleven or go to get gas, do you walk out of that convenience store going like this? No, unless a woman sees a guy that looks kind of shady or you're looking at something specific, but you look at the specific thing. You don't constantly turn. They're looking for cops, and in this case, they're looking for customers. You know, that's what the way it is. That's the way. So anyway, so what we would do is they know we're coming, or they're looking for us. So we go into the store at another entrance because the store covered like half a block. And we'd sneak into the store, and they come in behind them. Okay, and they only know we're right behind them, and they're dealing. And as soon as they see us, of course, even though we're in plain clothes, they know we're narcs. And here they go try to swallow. Okay, so one time, we did several of these, and one of them, pretty good knockdown, trying to grab him. He's screaming, he's yelling. He's yelling in the sense as best he can yell because he's got a hand right here. He's gargling more than trying to yell. And of course, people are coming up, and we're badging them. You know, we're police, all right. So get back, so they're backing away because they want to help, but if they see someone being assaulted, can't blame them. But then they see badges coming out and stuff and handcuffs. Oh, I would have just mind my own business, get the hell out of here. So. He was a rough one. He's an ex-convict, 35 years old, been in the prison. So he sued the department for brutality. And so there's an example of getting called in for internal affairs. So, we don't know he's going to sue. We don't know he's going to sue anybody. That's after the fact. We just book him. We write the reports accurately, and we submit it. And then, like 3 months later, we come to work, and there's internal affairs waiting for us. Sour-faced looking guys in suits, very serious, And so we go in there and I tell them what happened and they're very accusatory because that's their job because they're like prosecutors more so to speak, and I give that look, okay, now are you worried? And I say, yeah, again, we have nothing to hide. If I want to hide something, I'll hide it. Okay, so we tell them what happened. Are you aware it's against policy to choke people? I said, no, I was aware that the fact that we can if we want to, but it didn't say we shall not. Well, yeah, but you should abide by the guidelines. I said, we are. But the guidelines said that we could and we can. Didn't say we should not. See, we started using the book against them in the sense that we're defending ourselves here. And these guys they're sergeants. They think they know a lot, but sometimes they're out of their field. And usually in narcotics investigations, most sergeants are out of their field. They can handle patrol stuff, radio calls, family disputes, officers beating people with sticks, and that's just general normal stuff they do every day. But narcotics is very, very, very specific. And so they weren't really sure. You can see a look on their faces that they weren't sure about this answer. And so, okay, fine. So, okay, fine. I had 14 years on. I've been around. I've been interviewed. If you see the other videos before this one, been interviewed a lot. I learned from all this. I told you many stories ago. I was started with a little sponge out of the academy, and everything I see, it gets bigger and bigger. And now with 14 years on, that son of a gun is this big. It's got a lot of stuff in it. Okay. I have a large head, so it's a big filing cabinet. Just continue to see fill in there. So I learned all this, and so they took my partner in there, and so he told him the same thing, and he's training me. So I mean, you're asking you're asking the student, then you go to the teacher. Well, the teacher taught the student. That makes sense. So he's okay. So anyway, so that went on. Okay, so then we just cannot. You don't realize this when officers get accused of something, you just cannot stop working. You know what? I don't like this getting accused of something. So you know what? You can't do that. You pay us to work every day. Okay, so we're not going to hold our breath and go off and get in a sissy fit. We're going to continue to work. So we just continue working. That's what we do for a living. This is what we do. We get paid very well. We've got a great pension. You people paid us, and we're going to do until they tell us to stop. Okay. But anyway, so a couple months go by, get called into the captain's office. Okay, and the internal affairs investigation is complete. Okay, so we walk in there, and by now I'd already, actually longer than 3 months, because by now I'd already moved to another assignment. Got picked to work a specialized unit. So, I came down downtown where this other captain was, and I'm standing there, you know, and my partner's there, and I hadn't seen him, my ex-partner. Hey, how's it going? You know, and everything. We sit down, and he goes, I've been sent to, it goes to the chief. Any kind of physical forces other than just a slap or a wrist goes to the chief to look at it. I think it just his aides look at it. He doesn't, he's too busy. He's too busy, a busy man. She came to the chief's office, said they're recommending a reprimand. Okay, so we're sitting there, and of course we both have. He's got 16 and a half on. I've got 14 and a half on. We both. This is, you know, pushing 30 years here of experience, and of course he said it before I could. He says, "For what? If you give us a reprimand, that means we shouldn't be doing it anymore. You want us to shut down and not do it anymore?" And he's like, "No." I said, "So reprimand teams that they don't like what we did, so stop doing it." Well, okay. We'll just, when people ask us about the narcotic problem, we'll tell them we're not authorized to do that, so call the chief's office because we're not supposed to do that. It's a horrible answer. Horrible for the public to come up to an officer and give him that kind of answer, or to anybody. Go to a meeting, go to a school. Oh, we can't do that because we're not supposed to. People are like, are you kidding me? I have a narcotic problem. Especially the owners of the store. They're the ones that complain all the time. There was 2 stores, one big one and one kind of a small one, in a liquor store. They're calling the police all the time because these guys are dealing narcotics and they're selling condoms, they're selling hypodermic needles. This should not be happening in your community. These guys are paying a lot of money. These tax people are paying a lot of taxes to have these businesses, and now they're getting nothing from the police department. So anyway, so he goes, well, I'm going to send it back saying that there should be nothing here because you did not break any rules, you didn't violate any policy, you didn't do anything. And we're going, he's the boss. So we very nicely, professionally said, well, Captain, that's our opinion, and we really appreciate you doing that because otherwise we'll just shut down. He goes, I don't want anybody shutting down. I mean, he's got a balance. Calls on the public to do some non-court enforcement, and then the bean counters telling them that we should do something different, and they're afraid of being sued. Well, you know what? I told you before in the stories, if you're out there in the field, not sitting in some office writing paper, if you're putting hands on people and chasing cars and writing tickets and doing all the stuff that cops do, you're going to get sued. I don't care if you're working for a small police department, if you're working for, you know, Laguna Beach Police or San Francisco PD or the Sheriff's Department. If you put hands on people, someone's going to eventually sue you. And so the more hands you put on people, the more people you put your hands on, is that coming out? You're going to get sued more. And we were making arrests every day, 2 or 3 arrests a day. Do the numbers here. Smaller departments, South Orange County and even parts of Los Angeles County, patrol officers make arrests once every other day, if that. Because that's where they work. Nicer areas, quieter, safer, not safer, but, well, yeah, safer, but less criminals. So they're going to get sued consistently way less than we are. So anyway, so that was my brush, and I got nothing. And reprimand was recommended. I didn't get it. I appreciate that because I'm going to be promoting here too, and I don't need something like that pull me down where I really was doing everything by the numbers, and they wouldn't let me do it. They're going to try to stop me. So it worked out really well. So I'm out of time, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.